Let's start with the video.
What separates this app, what makes it rise above, is that it knows exactly what its place is, experience hierarchy, and it delivers exactly what is necessary without trying to do more, dilute value into a larger experience, which is the festival itself. We started with a general workshop with the client where we talked about the overall goals of the application, and then we quickly moved into a prototyping and wireframing workshops where we talked about different approaches to the scheduling, time awareness features. We used wireframes to quickly get through different approaches to that. That helped us to really drive toward honing in exactly the mission critical components of the app that we wanted to create and removing all the fluff. Pre-festival users are really just wanting to learn about the artists or parts video clips or listening to sound clips. On the 3 days in July the event occurs, the sorting features become a lot more important because users may want to understand who's playing on a particular stage at a certain time, or they just want to understand who's playing right now and who's playing next. At any point during the festival, the app would know intrinsically based on the time it was, what performers were on, and would take you to that point in the schedule list. A prime directive was not to create a festival experience on the app, but was to create an app that enhances the festival experience.
So, when the client came to us, or we got together with the Newport Folk Festival people, we actually did some internal brainstorming. What ought a festival app to do? And we had a lot of great ideas. I'm sure you can think of some of them yourself. Let's have the app find your friends. Let's make it easy to send videos, tweets, Instagrams. Maybe we can order a beverage right out of the app so you don't have to wait in line. Where are the bathrooms? How big a line is at the bathroom? And we really wanted to think of, what kind of disruptive thing can we do to a festival app? And we took these ideas back to the client and they said, absolutely not. It's like, what are you, crazy? We don't want people watching the festival like this. We want to focus on the festival. The festival's the important thing. Wait a minute, sorry, wrong direction. So what we looked at was slimming all those things down, got rid of all those ideas, and really focused on what is going to make this application work precisely for the festival itself. And the big thing is the schedule, right? So there's like three different contexts that we wanted to consider. Before the festival, when people can use the app to do exploration, who's performing, who's in the band, what's going on, what's the schedule shaping out to be. But during the festival itself, the application changes, right? So it's context and time aware. During the 3 days the festival is running, all of that falls away and the schedule becomes the most important thing. What time are people playing? And when you open up the app, there's no welcome screen, there's no nothing, you go right to the schedule. And you can flip the phone and you get basically a Gantt layout. And that's really all it does during the festival. There's a little bit of digging around. You get alerts, announcements. There's a map, but the schedule's the thing. And just by making these little tweaks, by putting the festival schedule right up, over 60,000 opens during the festival took place. Right, so people open the app 60,000 times to access that scheduling information. So beforehand, it's an exploration tool. During the festival, it's a schedule. How do you look at the schedule? Important announcements. And then the third context, can anyone guess the third context? Good guess, but no. Afterwards, you only have memories. Now, the third context is the administration. Because, this is rock and roll. Folk music, but you get the idea. Things change rapidly. The bus breaks down, someone gets sick, things move around in the schedule. there's a whole bunch of people in the festival administration that need to be able to get in there and change things on the fly, up to minutes before the act hits the stage. And so there's a back end that I don't think I have here to show you that lets people from the festival who are not technical people get in there easily, make changes, get back out, and push out alerts if necessary, weather alerts. There's all sorts of things that people might need to know in a very proximal way. So that's really it. It's a very simple, stripped down application that is running on iOS and Android, and that's kind of it. And it's been extremely successful, extremely well received. Client loves it. And as I say, people have downloaded it many times and use it extensively during the show. So that's kind of all I have to say about it. Any questions?
Sure. Wasn't it confusing, or how did you solve it, that the app changes modes before and during? Like, people are used on opening the app and, I don't know, checking their artist, and then on the day, they open the app and the app loads into a different mode. How did you... It would confuse me. Like, whoa, what's that?
We did a fair amount of testing about it. This is actually the second year that we've been handling the application, and very little pushback on that. So, I mean, you might think that was something confusing, but I think people actually are very grateful that when they're there in the festival, they just open the app and there's the schedule. You don't have to scroll to find where you're at. The schedule is actually set to the time that you're opening the application. So that it seemed, I can see where there could be confusion, but we actually saw very little of it in user feedback.
Cool. Good to know.
In the second year, were your clients able to enter the new bands and the new schedule independently, or did they have to come back to you to input that information?
But we did do a new version of the application with some interface tweaks, but the interface from the management side was more or less the same. So the client can put all that in and manage all of that. Nothing has to pass through us. The one iteration that we picked, we just had the festival a few weeks ago. The one iteration that we picked up from user feedback this year is that people wanted to know, if they've favorited a band in the sort of the previous version, or before the festival, and they're doing exploration, they just want an alert that says, hey, that band's about to play. So that in the third iteration of the app for next year, that's the one feature we're going to add in, as far as we know. Any other questions? I hate to go under my time.
Yeah, was the app location aware within the venue so that it would potentially, give you contextual information about where you were in the venue, like if you're back at the food area, or if you're on the different stages, you name it?
That was one of the things we proposed, but ultimately rejected, just again because we wanted for it to stay simple. Not get sort of bogged, and also keep the app very responsive, so it's not doing a lot of, churning, looking for locations. And out where the location is, the geolocation is possibly a little bit iffy too.
Were there any design principles you uncovered that you'll be able to use in future projects where the focus isn't on having the client doesn't want the users like this, it's a festival or it's a museum or it's something that the experience is being there and not, where the app can actually support and not overtake the actual experience?
Yeah, for us, it's very, and we've learned this lesson, several times. It's really understanding the context, and that's one of the things that we're seeing in a lot of our projects. I mean, this is a relatively small, focused project for us, but some of our other clients where you're managing a user experience that's running across different devices over different times of day. So someone might look at a retail application and they're commuting the train. They might get an alert at their desktop machine. They might later on in the evening be looking at a tablet and concluding the transaction. And so understanding how that context and from the user perspective is working is a real principal focus of our design process.
The user testing you did, how did you simulate the environment?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
So in the user testing that you did, how did you simulate the actual environment?
I have to admit, I'm actually the vice president of marketing. So the people who are on I was not that close to the project, so if you'd like, give me your card and I'll have our UX people talk directly. They wanted to come, but they are billable. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, and hope you have a rest of a good UX Awards experience.